then so within that conversation, we made a comment, and moving on and trying to start our show actually today, we got this email from John.
Hey, John.
RAD@radradio.com. He says, right before the pressure cooker, you guys were talking about today being a great show, which it has been. And Dawn mentioned something about how you guys have had some bad shows in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes so bad that it sticks with you for days. Now, I've listened to your show for many years. I can't think of any show in particular that was bad. I actually think they're always great. Do you remember any examples of what you guys thought were bad shows and why you thought that? Is it usually more internal things that make a bad show something listeners wouldn't even notice?
Yeah, I'm not sure listeners have ever noticed. Maybe you can remember. We've been doing this for so long that it's so bad we feel they've suffered. It's more internal. Like we know how we do the show. And so it's more of a, it may sound fine. This is how good we are. I don't know. Like, it may sound fine to you guys, but we just know we're not on top of our game. Things aren't clicking. It might sound like it is to you. Trust me, there have been times in the past, I don't do this anymore, but in the past where it would feel like it was so awful. And then I'd go listen to it and go, gosh, dang, that was funny. But it felt awful.
So I think
so it's just weird.
It's almost universally internal, and there's another one I'll get to in a moment. Over the years, when I have thought, like at the end of a show, that the show, I mean, look, there's segments, like there's segments where we'll go into the break, and I'll say to myself, just internally as the guy who's supposed to be running the show, I'll say, okay, I could have done that better, or gee, Dawn wasn't really playing along that time or something, and that goes away.
Yeah,
it's a segment, and we don't even talk. We don't. It's not like I call Brandon, damn it, why?
Time to have some air checks.
Yeah, if I gotta say something during the show, it's because something I'm really noticing something. Like you got to focus, you got to do that, and that happens almost never anymore. So,
thank God.
But like getting off the air and a whole show where I think it like just the show sucked. Or I also realized years ago are the shows that you guys, you listeners, seem to love the most.
I know, it's weird.
And a part of the reason, looking back, and I knew this at the time too, that I thought the show sucked was because it was really more about it was like uncomfortable. Like we were doing the job, but we weren't really enjoying it.
Yep.
And so you guys heard good radio,
but we're not feeling it.
We just like didn't enjoy doing it. Now, here's the thing. I haven't felt that way in years.
Same.
That now I think what might be different, then this is the last thing that I was going to throw in is a lot of times it's not so much internal as it is personal.
Yep.
Yes.
One of us will feel like, God, I am just not doing it today. I'm not there. I didn't do a good job today. It turned out fine, or it turned out great even, but we will beat ourselves up.
Well, and what's crazy is if we say it to one of us. Yeah. I've said it to Rob before, and he's like, I don't notice anything. But these are we hold ourselves to such a high, individually, we hold ourselves to such a high standard. We'll kick our own asses when we're mad at ourselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
And what's great about this team, which is really hard to duplicate, is that we have so much experience with each other for so many years that if we notice any type of, one person that's not really in it or isn't carrying the weight, quote unquote, then the others will kind of pick up that slack, but it's kind of an unintentional thing, or it's just kind of a, hey buddy, I got you. Yeah. It's never in a, oh, well, you're messing up, so now I got to outperform you.
The worst for me anyways, the worst feeling is when, for whatever reason, you might know what the reason, like maybe you're sad about something, a pet died or something wrong personally, or maybe you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. The worst thing for me is when while you're doing the show, that you're not doing it and you can't get out of it.
Yeah. Oh God, that sucks so bad.
That has not happened in a while.
Worst.
It is the worst. One of the great things about this show is I can be in a horrible mood at 5:59, and this show cheers me up. But man, on those rare days where I'm like, just want to slit my wrist, I'm like, what is wrong? Yeah. And it's even worse when you don't know what's wrong.
It's just being human, man.
Yeah, if you know, oh, my dog died, okay, then I know why I'm upset. If everything in your life is great and you just can't do this easy, wonderful job, like
I think that's when it's almost like pilot mode or whatever that's called.
Autopilot?
Yeah, autopilot. So we have enough of that saved up maybe from all the years of doing the show that what everyone else is hearing is still good, because you've just, in those moments, you can still be on autopilot and do your job, even though you don't feel like you're doing your job.
And remember our slogan, good is good enough.